can he do this? This is the question. People are like, can he reopen Alcatraz? Let's go with yes. Alcatraz. Now, before we get to this, do you remember here's a flashback. You remember that last year, Whoopi Goldberg, she had this fantasy, even though she had to read her notes to double check that it was her fantasy, about locking President Trump up in Alcatraz.
I don't want this to sound like I'm doing wishful thinking.
Yes.
Bitch! But which prison would be best?
I know which one.
I'm going to give you, Michael. Well, that's what I got. Number one is Rikers. But, you know, I'm okay if he goes to Alcatraz and they reopen it.
Let me check my notes so I can sound clever. What would be the worst prison? I don't know. How about your sex closet?
Oh, jeez. That's a fun time.
50 Shades of Gross.
Be begging for solitary.
Oh, no, not the candle wax. So, last night, President Trump pulled an Uno reverse card, announced that the United States will be reopening Alcatraz. He said, rebuild and reopen Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. That's all they contribute. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals, keep them far away from anyone they could harm. That's why today I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the DOJ, FBI, Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. And he said we would make America great again. And by the way, he's moving pretty fast on this one. For the grand opening, they hosted a cocktail hour and first imprisoned Whoopi Goldberg. So that is exactly right off the bat. Perfect.
Aw.
Nice. The classic look.
Hey, can I get a Manhattan?
No.
How about a gimlet? Let me check my notes. So, can he do this? This is the question. People are like, can he reopen Alcatraz? Let's go with yes. So, in 1972, the federal government did buy Alcatraz, and this was the property. I guess was a property clause of the Constitution, means that we probably need congressional approval, but it is federally owned at this point. The reason it was closed down was because it was pretty expensive.
It was.
To run. And I understand that. And look, I am a conservative, so I do believe in fiscal responsibility. But, you know, we've trimmed like $150 billion. I think we've earned a few laughs.
Yeah, and it wasn't shut down because of like inhumane,
No,
I don't
quarters
think so.
or treatment. I mean, I read up on Alcatraz because a big prisoner fan.
Yeah, of course.
And they got like a lot of these prisoners got their own room, their own cell. Mm-hmm. They got the food.
Yep. Clint Eastwood said the N-word.
That's all you need. Yeah, he did.
Escape from Alcatraz. Go
Almost
watch it, and then you will realize that Shawshank Redemption is a direct copy, almost shot for shot, of Escape from Alcatraz.
I don't care.
He carves a hole in the wall and covers it up, and he empties the dirt through his pockets in the prison yard. I remember watching this going, Shawshank they literally just copied Escape from Alcatraz. Wait, what is this? He escapes during a storm?
A better movie?
Okay.
By the way, I love how Donald Trump can't just reopen it. He's like, bigger and better. He's like, substantially enlarged. He always has to be like the promo guy saying this is going to be amazing. But here's something. This goes into a few other things that Donald Trump is doing. Symbolism to him, these things mean something to him. He sees more value in the symbolic nature of having Alcatraz than just it costs 3 times as much. At least when they closed it down, it cost 3 times as much to house prisoners there as opposed to somewhere in Atlanta, right? That's or in Georgia. That's what they were talking about.
Do you think that it would be more cost effective nowadays? Do you think we have better?
Maybe. I mean, maybe methods? So. Yeah.
Maybe they can put a water filtration.
I think so. I think it probably would be more cost effective, but I don't think that's really a thought that's entering into his mind right now. It's more of like, hey, the symbolism of this is good. Right. You do really bad crimes, you go to Alcatraz.
No, I think that makes sense. And also America was browbeaten and we were made to feel guilty, especially through our educational system. And so he wants these wins so that Americans can actually, all right, feel like something's being done. I get it. Symbolism is a big thing. I do wonder, though, with Alcatraz, like several people escaped and seemed to swim away. So you wonder how effective is it if people...
And only a couple of people really ever...
Yeah, but still, they were never found. Which,
never found.
Come on, though. Like, they probably got away.
San Pablo Bay is very cold and the currents are very strong. I'd be very surprised.
I don't know. They're quite motivated.
Yeah, but they're not that good.
But here's the thing, though. The guys that did that and were never found, we never heard of them again. So whether they made it or not, if they made it, they were rehabilitated.
That's true.
paid their dues.
They didn't reoffend, and that's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
They save money on their food.
Also, they became world champions at hide and seek. They were very, very good at it.
Wow.
They lived
Unbeaten?
their entire life unbeaten,
Pro
undefeated.
swimmers, actually.
Yep. Some people say one of them was actually the father of Phelps.
Yeah.
I made that up. You can fact check me. It's okay, Media Matters. Hey, if you're still watching, this is the part where I increase interactions and tell you to comment below. What do you think? Right, because that works. But if you don't, you can just click one of these videos playing in a similar vein, or it may autoplay. Ooh, that's fun.